We heal. That's not going on today on Homes and Lifestyles. A brand new antidote. Another legal minute with Jeff Kahane. APIS member Joel gives us some home inspection tips. Make it great and renovate on today's panel. Later on, explore zoo lights with Tiffany Burns. Then some great home tours. Homes and Lifestyles is sponsored by Kahane Law and Hayworth. Good morning and welcome to Homes and Lifestyles Canada. I'm Kim Hayden, veteran real estate agent and your host. Albertans typically spend around $23,000 per year on home renovations or updates. Today we're going to talk about the best places to invest that money for your day-to-day living and the best possible return when you go to sell your home. I'm joined by our interior designer, Anna Cummings, Sean Burston, developer with RPD Homes, and home renovation specialist, Danny Ritchie from Ultimate Home Renovations. But before then, let's visit our first stop on our home tour.
My name is Justin Worthy with the top Calgary real estate team at RE/MAX House of Real Estate, and we are very excited to share with you our newest listing, 2117 27th Ave Southwest. At the end of the day, imagine walking in the door of this gorgeous Victorian-style architecture on one of the most sought-after streets in trendy Marda Loop. You will enjoy easy access to all quadrants of the city, 2 parks, Safeway, Blush Lane, boutique fitness facilities, the Mad Rose Pub, and many more restaurants. You are welcomed by an open concept living room and dining room combination, complete with one of 3 gas fireplaces, stunning built-in cabinetry, as well as built-in speakers. The dining area seamlessly transitions into this gorgeous kitchen, complete with lots of counter space, a sit-up bar, stainless appliances, and a gas stove. This cozy family room is complete with yet another gas fireplace, as well as you'll be astonished by the craftsmanship of the crown moldings. Looking out the large back windows, you will notice the large south-facing backyard with brick patio that's very low maintenance, as well as a garden that blooms in both the spring and the summer. Flooded with natural light, the upper floor consists of 3 bedrooms, a master ensuite with his and her sinks, a stand-up steam shower, as well as a jacuzzi tub. Also upstairs is another full bathroom as well as a well-equipped laundry area. The fully developed lower level consists of an open rec room with wet bar, a large bedroom, as well as another bathroom, also carrying on the trend of fully integrated speakers throughout. Thank you for joining us on this tour. To view this immaculate home or any of our other great listings, feel free to contact the top Calgary real estate team at RE/MAX House of Real Estate at the number below, our website, or any of our social media platforms.
So before we move on, we'll visit with Jeff Kahane in our legal minute.
Hi, I'm Jeff Kahane with Kahane Law Office, and today I want to talk to you and share some insights to having a happier real estate transaction. Today's topic, the top issues that real estate lawyers see in a real estate transaction. Number 1, real property reports. While there's no obligation on a buyer with respect to real property reports, it's always a good idea to have your real estate agent get one for you so you can take a look at it and help you understand better where the property lines are, make sure there's no problems with where things are located, or if you have future plans that it won't conflict with them. So take a look at it, and if there's any issues, get your lawyer involved right away. Number 2, dower rights. Again, not directly a problem for a buyer, but if you're buying and you're married and you're going to own the property just on your own, then if you sell or refinance down the road, you might have some issues. So it's worth talking to your lawyer to make sure that you understand what your obligations are and where you have to make sure you've got things in place. Number 3, powers of attorney. So we see all kinds of issues with a power of attorney, and it's a great document because it lets somebody else sign for you if you're not around. But the problems we see are, it's the wrong form, it's not signed right, you only have one copy and the land titles is going to keep it, And then some banks won't allow it to be used unless you get special permission from them. So make sure that's in place. Number 4, we want to make sure that you have ID. You're going to need identification when you come in to sign with your lawyer because your bank won't fund money to you unless they know who you are. Last, number 5, poorly drafted contract terms. So we see contract terms that are so poorly drafted that no one's really sure what they mean. Unless we can negotiate a resolution to that, you're going to court, which no one wants to do. And negotiate a resolution means that someone's getting less than they originally thought they were going to get. So if you're drafting some kind of contract term that's a little unusual, have your real estate agent connect with your lawyer and we'll work through it so that it's worded properly, and then you won't have any problems and you will have a better real estate experience.
My name is Danny Ritchie, President of Ultimate Renovations. And here we are showcasing a home that was built in 1980s, and we've done to it, we've relayed it out to a newer lifestyle. We've raised the ceiling from an 8-foot height to a 9-foot, and we've relayed the home out completely. So now we have what we would say 2 bedrooms, a large ensuite, and a walk-in closet with very good flow through the home. The cabinets you'll notice here are all custom built in our office building. You'll notice the cabinets, they go right completely to the ceiling. Pot lights throughout the ceiling. The island has cabinets all the way around it, so you have lots of flexibility and storage in this kitchen here. And also by raising the roof of the home from an 8-foot height to a 10-foot allows us to have 12-foot heights in the garage. That allows you to put in man lifts, 1 or 2 car lifts in there, and you could actually have 4 cars in that garage at the same time. We also have an outdoor living space, which this one here has heaters above, gas heater, and we have TV outside, so covered area, so it's quite good to be out there. So anybody in the future here are thinking of renovating, they must come and see this showcase. It's open on our website, you'll see the hours. It's open on Thursday, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and gives you lots of ideas what you could possibly do to your home in the future.
Hi, I'm Anna Cummings of A&A Interiors, and today I'm talking about vacation property design. Whether you stay in your vacation home for 2 weeks of the year or 6 months of the year, you're going to want to make sure it's cohesively put together so it reflects your personality, at the same time offering a comforting retreat to all that stay there. You want to make it durable enough so that it lasts throughout the seasons and can withstand the number of guests who might use the space. Some people look at vacation homes as a place to relegate their primary residence's hand-me-downs, and others view it as an opportunity to start fresh and do something they might not have had the courage to do previously. The first thing to think about is the location. My clients near beaches will most often opt for an oceany palette consisting of sandy tones, aquas, and whites. Also important is to select the appropriate flooring and furnishings for the climate and environment. Assess the lighting requirements and try to take as much advantage of the vistas and views as possible. In climates that are conducive to outdoor living, I like to create as large a living space outdoors as we possibly can, inviting relaxation around every corner. Temperature control is key as well. This is the time where a strategically placed fan spells the difference between sweat and sweet. For vacation homes in mountains or on lakes, we still want to create that cozy, casual feeling as well, but we'll use different color palettes suitable to those areas. We might look at rustic elements like weathered or distressed finishes on wood furniture. Adding accents like fir throws are perfect for ski chalets. Install energy-efficient windows and consider your major appliances that will store a lot of food or wash a lot of bed sheets. Essentially, you want the same level of comfort and efficiency wherever your secondary home may be. Make your ultimate wish list and start from there. Do you want an outdoor fireplace for chilly evenings? Or what about a large soaker tub that takes in that majestic view of the mountain or lake? We are only limited by our imagination. Designing your vacation property is something we all dream about. Make the most of those dreams by getting the best help you can, whether that be from polling your friends and family or by hiring your favorite architect and designer. You won't ever regret it. Thanks again for watching. Share your thoughts with me at annainteriors.com. Next time, I'll be doting on designing a forever home. You won't want to miss that.
Danny, let's start with you. Ultimate Renovations, you guys do a lot of renovations. What is, the first place we should start with our money, our investment?
Well, typically, if you're not going to do the whole home all at once, which is the best thing to do, but sometimes there's a budget to work with. So if you're going to split it, you got to split it with floors, not pieces of half this room and half the other room, and because it'll never end and you don't get what you want at the end. So today everybody's looking for more of an open concept. So typically you take out the wall between the kitchen, dining, and living room. We call it the great room.
Yes, yes, and then the big island goes in.
That's right. Everybody wants an island these days, but an island looks only good if it's a decent size.
Yes.
If it's going to be a really narrow thing, it's just more of a cumbersome in the middle of a room. And when you have, when you entertain from when you were younger, where does everybody start? It's in the kitchen.
It's in the kitchen.
It's in the kitchen.
The kitchen's the heart of the home. So, Sean, you take out homes like you do infills, you do big stuff in the city. You do them also. But when we're considering, we're going from a little tiny house in Eltador, how do you narrow them down and bring them, kind of corral the home builder back into their budget?
So you're looking at a renovation?
Yes.
And you're looking at someone who, you have to set the parameters for sure. I totally agree. So I would start with the kitchen, main floor, work your way out from there. And you start flooring. You don't want a continuous story. Oftentimes, older configurations, older homes, they'll have a very disruptive story with the flooring. They have tile in the front entrance. They have a little bit of hardwood off to the side. Then they have carpeting. What is probably a nice game plan is if you try to add a cohesion to that and just go with maybe flooring of hardwood throughout the whole configuration to, kind of bind everything together. And at least that will give you a continuous story on the main floor.
So main floor. Now, Anna, being interior designer, how many times have you changed your own space that you're in?
Well, I like to do it once and I do it right because I'm changing people's spaces constantly. I want to have a place where I don't have to change constantly.
So you get the feel of Anna when you walk into your space, eh?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So from a design perspective, when you come into this whole thing, we're knocking down walls and such, where do you start? Like, how do you see this? Because a lot of people, they've got to have it finished. That's why show homes are so popular, right? Mm-hmm. Where do you come in?
We come in right at the very beginning. The earlier the better, I always say, because that's when you define your concept. That's where the budgets are honed, and you really kind of work outward from that.
Hello, my name is Joel Rolfstad. I'm a professional home inspector with the Canadian Residential Inspection Services. I'm also a member of the Alberta Professional Home Inspector Society. Today, I'm going to discuss attics. Attics are places of mystery and misunderstandings. Images of attics often portray places where old keepsakes are stored, but in most circumstances, attics are not meant to be used as storage spaces. As an inspector, I'm assessing three main components of attics: the roof structure, the attic insulation, and the attic ventilation. The structure is meant to withstand the weight of the roofing materials and any natural forces such as snow, ice, or wind. So structure is critically important. The insulation in the attic is important in both the summer and the winter. In the summer, attics are very hot, and the insulation is needed to prevent this heat from getting into the home. This keeps the home cool and limits our need for air conditioning. Conversely, in the winter, the insulation prevents heat loss from the home, so we don't have to use our furnaces as much. Both instances explain why attic insulation reduces energy costs. The attic ventilation is also very important. Airflow through the attic is usually accomplished through fresh air coming into the attic through low-lying vents and leaving the attic through higher vents. Inspectors are assessing whether or not there is sufficient airflow. In the summer, the air flushes out hot attic air, thus keeping the home cool and prolonging the life of the roof components. In the winter, the airflow flushes out humidity and also helps prevent ice formation at the edges of the roof. both of which can lead to damage and the potential for mold growth. I hope this helps clear up any misconceptions about attics. I'll now leave you with this image of mold growth in an improperly ventilated attic.
Welcome, come on in. Hi, my name is Hannah Kazak with Real Estate Professionals, and I'm here to show you this wonderful new home in Mahogany, 74 Masters Point Southeast, currently listed at $780,000. Upon entering this beautiful home, you've got this wonderful space that can be used as an office, a den, flex area, or a formal dining room. Up ahead of us is the kitchen. The kitchen has got the upgraded cabinets throughout, right to the ceiling. You've got the upgraded appliance stainless steel package with the built-in stove and gas range. You've also got this oversized quartz island. It's perfect for entertaining, and it's adjacent to the spacious great room located right behind me with wall-to-wall windows providing a ton of light and a radiant heat fireplace. Welcome to the upstairs master bedroom. This is a great space to relax and unwind after a long day at work. The beautiful ensuite located right off the master bedroom with its encased glass and tiled shower, soaker tub, and his and hers quartz countertop sinks. And the last room on our tour is this wonderful bonus room. And as you can tell, this room is beautifully staged like the rest of this house by my friend Jocelyn with J. Louise Interiors, who is a true professional in the industry. Jocelyn, can you tell us what inspired you for the staging of this property?
Yeah, thanks Hannah, thank you so much. It was such a fun project to work on, obviously a beautiful property, but my job in this project, because it was vacant, was to create a home. So that meant bringing in every single piece that we've seen throughout. My job is, to help the potential buyer visualize living here.
So why is staging so important?
Yeah. Well, a quick fact is a staged home sells 72% faster than an unstaged home. It also gives perceived value to that property, so you can list it at a higher price. So not only are you selling faster, but you're selling for more money, which I think is everyone's goal.
Well, thank you so much, Jocelyn, for making this space beautiful.
Thank you.
This 2,600, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-story home located on a corner lot is listed at $780,000. If you have any questions about this property, please reach out to me directly or at hamakazak.com.
The beautiful and beloved Confederation Park in Calgary's Northwest was created in 1967 to mark the centennial of Canada's Confederation. The communities of Highwood, Collingwood, Capitol Hill, and Mount Pleasant border this 162-hectare park, which is considered an achievement in landscape design. The mature coniferous and deciduous trees provide a wonderful backdrop for family photos. The easily accessible and comfortable surroundings make it a perfect place to record those precious moments. The lovely stream flows through the park, providing an excellent habitat for those muskrats, amphibians, birds, and insects. The sweet sound of tumbling water along the many bridges that cross the creek seem to transport the visitor to the country setting. The Calgary Regional Pathway System runs the entire length of the park. Cyclists and pedestrians share the paved trails that lead to several playgrounds, tennis courts, ball diamonds, along with plenty of picnic sites. Confederation Park was Canada's largest centennial park project. It's an excellent destination offering a mix of relaxation and recreation.
From Santa and his sleigh to dolphins, dinosaurs, and hippos. One of our city's favorite annual holiday traditions is back for its 20th year. Zoo Lights at the Calgary Zoo.
Zoo Lights is your very first injection of Christmas spirit. It is a holiday time for everybody of all ages.
Zoo Lights uses 1.5 million lights to make its magic, as well as 200 figurines.
It's a night where you can just come down, and the moment that you walk in, you're surrounded by such a positive feeling.
Setting up the sparkles starts in the summer. Each year, the zoo does something a little different to surprise repeat guests, like this season's exhibit in the NMAX Conservatory.
This year we're doing Wonderland, so we're doing a wonderful celebration of the classic story of Alice in Wonderland, and you can wander through there and see all of the very cool displays. You can actually visit with the Mad Hatter if you're lucky, and that's where Santa sits as well. He takes a little warm post in there and people can come and visit Santa.
The real animals are sleeping by the time Zoo Light starts each night at 6, but zany zebras and effervescent elephants are shining bright, while pretend pandas preview the new giant panda paddock that will open in the spring.
Everybody's in a good mood when they're at Zoo Lights, you know, and there's so many adorable little kids, and there's grandparents and young couples on dates. It's a little bit of something for everybody's taste.
Zoo Lights is open every night except Christmas, right through January 6th. With your Calgary update, I'm Tiffany Burns.
What's the biggest trend that we're seeing coming up right now? We've talked about the kitchen and the island, taking out the wall between the dining room and the kitchen, which is huge. You see that in all the older homes. What are some of the trends that you're seeing coming up, Danny?
More, you could see a lot if you're going up, now we go up to call it going to the upstairs. You're seeing now more of the master bedroom into an ensuite, into a walk-in closet.
Where do you like to start when you look at the renovation? What's the very first thing?
Well, we take an inspiration from the client, whether that be an area rug or a family photo or an inspiration from a magazine. That's where we start our design concept from.
So, Sean, what are some of the things that when you go in for an older home?
It depends how vintage the home is. You know, sometimes the home doesn't merit any consideration for maintaining any of its original configuration. If you're going back to more of a historic vintage, like the 1912 kind of vintage, then you want to kind of keep some of the millwork, some of the woodwork, cabinetry that provides character to it. But it's tricky because the stuff has to still be pertinent, and it still has to be functional within the new kind of renovated project that you're working within. So
yeah, I saw a house over in Ramsey, and it was an old red house from like 1905, and it had the original windows though with the lead in the.
And those
gorgeous,
are those
gorgeous.
are really nice features to try to keep.
And those are timeless.
Yeah.
Okay, I know that they say that you should invest at least 1% of your home's value every year into maintenance and updating. They also, rumor has it, that your kitchen and bathrooms should be updated every 10 years and your paint should be done every three years or so. What's the one thing that you're seeing that people, you go, if they had just done that on the marker, the 3-year, the 5-year, the 8-year, the 10-year, had they maintained this home, it wouldn't cost this much? What's the one thing that you could kind of, from a renovation perspective, give us?
Well, usually the kitchens and the washrooms are left original until which point in time where they're trying to sell the home, and that's where they're going to actually get beat up on the resale of the home.
Yes,
so,
kitchen and bathrooms.
You know, it really is, it's kitchen, bathrooms, kitchen, bathrooms, kitchen, bathrooms. That's really where, you know, the building blocks of the renovation start, and then you kind of, you know, span out.
Like Danny said, kitchen's the heart of the home. That's where we all end up.
But once you start getting to doing the kitchen and the bathroom and the ensuite, now what about the hallways and the flooring between it and everything? And so it ends up quite often being the whole thing. When you're touching all those 3 main pieces of the puzzle, you're not going to do just those rooms typically and then not do the flooring and not do the painting in the house, in the rooms between it, or the hallways between it. So you know, that's the thing that people have to think about.
And it keeps going, like small children. They just keep costing you money.
And the thing is, and if you don't do it right, you're almost decreasing the value of your home, especially for people who just want to refurbish their bathroom, refurbish their kitchen. Well, sometimes they're decreasing it by not doing it properly or not putting in the right finishes.
So what should somebody look for when they're hiring a contractor?
Check their credentials out, see where they come from, how long they've been in business, what's a track record. You know, today with the thing, you can dig so deep and find out not only about the company, but you can find out about the people that run the company, you know. That's a big thing of, you know, get comfortable before you call the person, you know, because quite often people will get there and then they say, oh, I'm going to go with Joe. Well, have you checked that guy out? Oh, no, why? Well, maybe you should just do some homework first, just in your own benefit. People just don't do enough homework before they hire a renovator, and they're left in a mess.
So easy to ask for references. You know, what homes have you done? Who are the homeowners? Can I phone them and talk to them? It's very simple.
Yeah,
you know?
that's right.
you know, don't dive in without doing any, you know, any background checks. There's a lot of good renovators out there, and there's a lot of maybe not so good renovators out there.
From the design side of things, what is your favorite thing to look for in a contractor? Somebody who's going to, how do you create that relationship?
Yes, relationships are critical, and that's a good part of where designer comes into play, because designers typically know very good contractors and renovators. So we already do some of that vetting for the client.
So, and what's your favorite kind of overall experience? Like if you were to say, this is how I like it to go.
Yeah, I think, again, back to communication, setting up timelines, those kind of things. If you've got good relationships and, you know, suppliers, everything from your selections, if everything can run smoothly and everything is ordered on time, things can pretty much flow pretty smoothly.
I have a feeling that you always order on time. You seem like the type of person
well,
that
you know, there's
right
a sequence. There's a sequence too. So a lot of homeowners don't realize, well, I want to put in new windows, but then do you think about your siding? So there's a sequence, and different priorities happen before others.
Excellent. Well, that's I didn't even think of that. So we have a lot of people out there that have watched Homes and Garden. They are now the expert themselves. They're going to DIY it. What are some of the things that they should never attempt?
Well, they can do the light stuff, like if they want to do a paint job.
Yep.
You know, they might go through a trial and error period, but there's only so much damage they can do with picking up a paintbrush. But I think beyond that, certainly anything that requires any changes in electrical, any changes in mechanical, cabinetry, really, past the paint job, they should really be bringing in a professional, you know, who knows what they're
Absolutely.
doing.
Well, I think a lot of people don't realize that they're going to do the electrical, and, you know, insurance companies have the right to refuse claim if your electrical is not permitted.
They also have to, if they're updating their electrical, they have to draw a permit. And as someone who's just a homeowner, they're not going to be able to do that.
Well, a lot of times now you can't even sell a house on resale without that permit.
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, so that's really important. What are some of the things that you've seen DIYers and you walk in and go, I guess the wallpaper would be the one for me.
Honestly,
I can't get anything lined up.
Everything and anything. I think if you don't have the skill set and you don't have the right tools, maybe leave it to the professionals, honestly. And even paint, I would think, too, because a good paint job can last several decades even. The colors might go out, but you'd be surprised how corners and things get painted over, and it just doesn't look good.
Yeah. Nothing like, I saw a house once where they actually painted right over the light switches. They all matched. I was there going, that's nice. So what are some things that you've seen, DIYers that you've walked in and you've had to fix for them?
Oh, that happens quite often. You know, I've seen it where they've ripped apart the drywall off the walls, and they think they're starting to take down the wall and not realizing, well, that's a bearing wall there. And typically there's always a bearing wall if there's living quarters above it. If there's a wall, that quite often is the bearing wall. And, you know, they've got it half down. Well, it hasn't fallen down, but, you know, it's going to sag in time, you know. But people just, and then they think that, oh, well, I've done half the job, I've got it gutted, and now you just have to put it back together for me. So, not the greatest thing to do. But,
yep. Doug and I did a renovation out in Toronto, and yeah, it was, we decided to work with the contractor. We're going to do the lifting, right? And it was all lath and plaster. And yeah, never again.
Plaster is an absolute nightmare to deal with.
And we had hauled it out to this little, it was a single car garage, but it was at lean-to stage because the house was built in 1906. And I think the garage was built for a Model T. So all that plaster was in there. So then when we go to sell, guess what? We're hauling all the plaster out of this garage. We're doing wheelbarrows because you couldn't fit a car down between the two houses anymore because that's how old it was. So leave it to the professionals. And speaking of professionals, thank you guys so much. Great tips. Don't do your electrical. Make sure you consult for good colors. And there's a sequence to everything. A big thanks to our sponsors, Hayden Law, Hayworth, A&A Interiors, Canada Mortgage Direct, APIS, and Design. This episode is filmed on location at Hayworth. Hair and makeup provided by Swizzle Stick Salon Spa. Wardrobe provided by Bellissima.